This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, guys. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, based on the time zone you are in. This is Vikas here, and I'll get started with the introduction to DevsecOps. Now, when we talk about this training, this will be a hands-on oriented training where we will be concentrating on all the concepts related to development, operations, and security. We will be getting ourselves acquainted with AWS cloud, and on top of that, whatever is the prerequisite, like you will need a little bit of Linux, little bit of scripting, I'll be covering all those things. A little about me. So my name is Vikas. I have some 12 years of IT experience. From last 6 years I have been working into all these stuffs, and I have a good amount of training experience. Okay, 7 years is what I have a training experience. So I do a part-time training. On my job I do cloud related work. Then I have done some migration projects, some overall CI/CD implementation from the scratch, and I would love to share my experience with you people. Now, first of all, let me give you a scenario. So the scenario is that, let me say that there's a company here in India, and it gets a contract to distribute COVID-19 vaccines to a remote place in some part of the country. So what they want is they want a mobile app or a website which will have payment features, which will have the records which can be fetched from the government database, and lot of features. Okay, but the biggest problem they have is they have a very limited time slot to develop all these things and present it to the customer or present it to the market. So they approach a company, say company X, and they say that we want you to develop a mobile app and a website using which we can distribute COVID-19 vaccine. We have to collect payment from the government. We have to update government's database. So there has to be a security feature, and more importantly, it should be very simple. And when you're developing all these things, I want it very fast. So this is what we are doing right now. So as a company X, I am doing requirement gathering. So I'll interact with a stakeholder and say, okay, tell me what your requirement is, what work you need, how fast you need, when you need, what are the commercials. Once we are done with all these things, we get into the design. We get into the high level design where we talk about, okay, fine, you need this, you don't need this. Design is done. 2-3 things which customer has rightly pointed out is time to market, quality, and it should be very simple. Okay, so that everybody can simply use it. Now, if I have to develop a software, I have to follow one of these methodologies, because I'm developing a software. It's not a college project that anywhere you start and anywhere you stop. No. So I have to follow a methodology, either of them: waterfall model, agile model, DevOps model. So it starts from waterfall model. So in waterfall model, we build basically a big monolithic application, one single piece of software, which we will be using for all our activities. The problem with this monolithic software is that if one component goes down, I have to shut down the entire application, fix it, and bring it back. But the customer is saying that my application should be available 24/7. So this particular setup doesn't look feasible to me. So this is not working. I can't go for a monolithic application. Second is, I will have to buy some physical servers. Now, I don't have that much amount of money to go ahead and buy physical servers. Moreover, if I have that amount of money, I will have to wait for some amount of time. It can be 10 days, 20 days, a month, to procure that physical server, and then I have to do maintenance on top of that. I have to do the configuration, network configuration, your software installation, all those things. And I need a place where I can store all these data. So in-house data center. So in my requirement, all the 3 major components of waterfall model fails. On top of this, it is time consuming. CONS. I'll put it here. 1 second. I'll change the color of the pen and then I'll put it. Drawing tool, choose color pen. So it needs a good amount of time. So one thing I'm very much sure is I can't go with waterfall model. So waterfall model is out of picture for me. Next. The next model which I can pick is agile methodology. So if I talk about agile methodology, in agile, I develop the same monolithic application, but I decouple it or I break into small pieces. So let me say this is the monolithic application. I break into n number of pieces. And in each sprint, I pick a small chunk. Let me say 2 weeks, 3 weeks, one sprint, I pick a small chunk, do my work and deliver it to the client. But yes, it is still time consuming. Okay. The second is that if you're not buying physical servers or if you're buying less number of physical servers, at the end, you will need a virtual machine or a VM environment where you can run these servers. Again, you have to put it on a hosted zone or you need a hosted environment where you can host all these things. Again, this is not feasible for me. So seeing the scenario right now or seeing the market right now, I'm left with only one scenario or one setup, which is DevOps. Okay. Agile has one more problem. Okay. The problem with Agile is that here the teams work in silos. What I mean by that is, let me say you are working as a developer. When you're working as a developer, you are expert. You know what you're doing. You can even in your night dreams, you can say that, okay, this is what I have done. But do you know what is happening in a testing end? Do you know what is happening on production side? Do you know what the UAT tester is doing? So primarily, you don't know anything about that. So what happens is that I will say you are working in a silo. You are expert of your domain, but you don't know what's happening on the other side. So it is something like this. As a developer, you develop something, you're happy about it, it is working on your local machine, but the moment you deploy it to prod environment, it does not work, it fails. You say, hey, it is working fine in my laptop, it should work there in your prod environment, and if it is not working, there is a problem with your prod environment. The other guy says, hey, no, I saw that it was working fine before you deployed your code, so that there is a definite problem in your code. These two people start fighting. So this is called as a wall of confusion. A developer thinks he is doing the correct thing. The operations guy thinks he is doing the correct thing. But at the end of the day, because of this, the end customer who needs the product as soon as possible is suffering. Okay. Now, if I have to solve all these problems, I need to go for a setup which is going to solve all these problems. So the setup which I'm going to put now is DevOps. We can also say it is DevsecOps when you start including the security aspect. The moment you say DevOps, I will start thinking of microservices. So microservices are small components which can independently work as one unit. Let me give you an example. Uber. So you might have used Uber to book a cab. Uber is a cab service. You might have booked Uber to travel from one place to another. So there are various features like customer feedback. So customer provides a feedback to the driver, driver's location, your location, your payment history, your payment method, how you are going to pay. You can raise a help ticket. So there are various features. So each feature work as an independent or loosely coupled microservice. So the benefit is that if one of the feature fails, so let me say I'm trying to do a payment with my credit card and the payment is not going through, still I can go ahead and book a ride and go with the ride. I can pay in cash or I can use other method of payment. So this is the benefit I get when I start using microservices. Basically, I will be able to switch off one of the feature which is not working and the other features can run as it is running. That's the benefit. If I have to host these microservices, let me say my application has 100 microservices. simply means I cannot have 100 servers. It means I have to use Docker containers. What is container? How it works? I will tell you later. But we will be working with containers, Docker containers. Then we will need someone who will orchestrate or who will manage these containers, because if containers become large in number, it will be very tedious for me to manage them. So I will go for Kubernetes or Docker Swarm, which will be again covering in the coming classes. Then all these things I don't want to do with my own hands. I want a service provider who can provide me the infra for all these things. I have cloud, AWS, Azure, GCP. These are the market leaders. And if I have a knowledge of cloud plus DevOps, I can do all what I want to. So if I have to summarize everything right now, so this is how a project execution model works. When you say waterfall model, you have ample amount of time. You go with design, then code, then test, then deploy. Code takes its own sweet time. The problem here is, in my scenario, I don't have time. Waterfall model, nobody is talking about quality. I am concerned about quality. Same happens with Agile. In Agile, there is design, code, test, code, test, code, test, code, test, and then deploy. But still, it is time consuming. There is nobody talking about quality. So I will definitely come to DevOps, where I can do multiple deployments on a single day. It means the time to market is very big considerable factor. I am very much concerned, when is my product getting delivered, how quickly it is getting delivered, what is the quality of the product I'm going to give, what are the security features, and if I have to attain or if I have to achieve all these things, I will definitely go with DevOps. So we hear a lot about DevOps. So we say that if we are doing a DevOps, all these work, design, development, testing, deployment, maintenance will be fast. How? Now, before answering that question, I will say, so there is something which you might have encountered some or the other way. So something new comes into the market. Before that thing comes, or before this thing actually starts working, you will see rumors have creeped in. So there are a lot of rumors in the market, like DevOps, it's a team, DevOps, it's a script, DevOps, it's a tool. No, DevOps is not all these things. DevOps is rather a goal. It is a never-ending process where you continuously improve the product which you are delivering day by day. So DevOps is about automation. Yes, we will be talking about automation, because at the end of the day, I cannot rely on human efforts. Reason being, I have to do a same task day in, day out. Let me say, I have to run a script to take a backup of a database. Now, I have hired a person. This person's job is at night 11 o'clock, he gets up, takes the backup, drops an email and sleeps. And then repeatedly, he does the same thing again. Now, he is doing it. I am getting the output. But is that person adding any value to his CV? No. What will he say when he'll go for an interview? I took backup at the night time. That is all what you would have done. So there are many tasks which can be automated, because it doesn't need that kind of a brain. Okay, so I will talk about automation. Any task which is repetitive, I will go ahead and automate it, because I need the work to be fast and error free. As a human, there are chances that we can commit a error. How? Doesn't matter what experience you have. Second is, it is about implementing best practices of the particular tool. So we will be learning a set of tools, and we will be implementing the best practices of those tools, like Jenkins. Why should I use Jenkins? What is good in Jenkins? Kubernetes, Terraform. What is good about Kubernetes? Why should I learn Terraform? All these things will be covering. Then it will bring agility to my team. It means, let me say, so one big problem which we face in the industry is that the client is super confused. Sometimes he will say, I need this. Then the very next moment, he will say, hey, no, can you add this thing to my functionality? So this is a problem which most of us might have faced in some or the other way. So if the customer is changing the requirement, we will have to change our approach. So DevOps give you that flexibility where you can go ahead and put your changes, and that too in a very fast and effective manner. Okay, one second. This is okay. So I can have agility in my way of working. I can change as per the customer's requirement. Then DevOps is a cultural change. So I'll stick to this. DevOps is a cultural change. It is change in the way you think. It is change in the way you implement. If I go to Wiki, okay, so Wikipedia, if I go to Wiki and say DevOps, see here, it says DevOps is a set of practices that combine development, operation, aim to shorten the SDLC, software development lifecycle, and provides continuous delivery to with a high quality. Okay, so it is talking about all the things which I talked. Then DevOps is a complementary with Agile. Several DevOps objects come with Agile methodology. So you can integrate your existing Agile methodology with DevOps, and DevOps will cover the entire aspect of your development. Now, when I talk about DevOps, okay, problems like this will be easily solved because I am asking about people, or I'm asking about a process which will make sure that you are 100% effective. You don't only work as a developer, you also work as a operations guy. Now, in one of the reinvents, somebody asked Andy Jess, the CEO of Amazon, what is DevOps? He told, you develop it, you deploy it. It means you take the end-to-end responsibility of the code which you are working on. Suppose you picked a functionality, you start with understanding the functionality with the customer, understand what he needs, go ahead, develop it, test it, deploy it, and if there are any production issues, go ahead and fix it. It means now I don't need people who say that I am a developer, I'm a tester, I'm a UA, I'm a production support guy. No, I need people who are SRE, site reliable engineers. These engineers are like all-rounders. Today, if there is a demand that you should work on operation side, you should be ready with your operation kind of skills. If the company says that I need development, you should be in a position to go ahead and develop something. If the company says, I need you to write few scripts, you should be able to write those scripts. Does it mean that you are a full-fledged developer? Does it mean that you're a full-fledged tester? No. So if I talk about a cricket team, so in a cricket team, you will see there will be a batsman, there will be a bowler, there will be a wicket keeper, and there will be all-rounders. Now, these all-rounders are one who can bowl, bat, do wicket keeping, carry water bottles, and do all kind of job which are there available. Now, as a site reliability engineer, as a DevOps engineer, you are that all-rounder. You are expected to do most of the things, and that too efficiently, effectively, and with a very short duration of time. So this is what I was talking about. You should be able to do performance testing, end user analysis, quality, then error thing, availability, performance, complaints, analytics. So basically, you're expected to do almost all the things. Now you will say, hey, come on, how can a single person do all these things? Now the requirement is that only, that you should know a little bit of everything. And as and when you get started, okay, you will slowly learn these skills day by day. So this is what DevOps means. You do development, you do QA, you do operations, and it's a ever growing process, or it's a non-ending iteration. Now, if I include security inside, I say it is DevSecOps. And obviously, if you want to develop something, security can never be sidelined. Now, the question which comes is, I am a tester, I am a DBA, I am a developer. How can I become a DevOps engineer? So this is the path which we are going to follow. This is the setup which we are going to do. And this is how we reach our end goal, which is this. So to start with, we will be learning a programming language or a scripting language. Mostly we are more interested in learning scripting language like bash scripting, YAML, groovy scripting, little bit of you can say coding of Python or Java is also enough. So the expectation here is you will not go and write the code full-fledgedly. The expectation is that you will simply be in a position to understand what is there in the code, so that tomorrow if there is a requirement where you have to change the code, the developer is not there, you have to change the code, you should be in a position to understand the code, change the code, and put it back to that pipeline which you will be creating. So the first is you need the knowledge of a scripting language or a programming language. If you already have it, very good. We start our training here where we make yourself acquainted with Linux or Unix. What is Linux? What is Unix? How bash scripting works? So we will make you acquainted with that. Then we go for version control. So we say SCM, source control management tool, like Git, GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket. All those things are like we will be learning. Do we learn everything? It is not possible to learn everything. We pick tools like Git and GitHub and we learn here on the project management tool or version control tool. Then we take a step ahead where we go with build automation tool. Now developers are going to build, or developers are going to make changes day in, day out. I cannot simply go and compile every code manually. So I need a build automation tool, or I need a tool who can compile the codes for me in an automated manner. So I will be using build automation tool like Maven, Gradle, Ant, Nant. So in this training, we'll be learning about Maven. Then I need a configuration management and deployment tool like Ansible, Chef, Puppet. Again, I can't learn everything, so I'll pick Ansible. In Ansible, I will learn what is Ansible role, how an Ansible playbook is written. When I write a playbook, what all things can I automate like that? Then we move ahead where we start learning a CI/CD tool like CI/CD tool like Jenkins, Bamboo, Travis CI. We will be learning Jenkins. In Jenkins, we will learn how to write a pipeline script, both scripted pipeline and your declarative pipeline, how to do groovy scripting, how to install plugins and work from the console, how to do master slave configuration, how to send automated emails, integrate Jenkins with Jira, then integrate it with SonarQube for quality analysis, integrate it with Nexus so that I'm able to uh, put my code or use Nexus as a repository. Then I'll be learning about a test automation tool like JUnit, Selenium, where I will be having some automated test cases. I will put them and then I will let my program come to Git, compile the code using Jenkins, and inside Jenkins, I will have this tool who will run the test cases for me. Then I will need a logging and monitoring tool like Prometheus, Grafana, Node Exporter, where I will want that these tools should come and do a health check, a constant health check, so that anything which is going to get or is going to create a problem, it has not created a problem yet, but it is going to create a problem, should be rectified or should be identified at day one. Before the damage is done, I would like to fix it so that the earlier you fix it, the better it is and the lesser the damage is. Then I'll be learning a database management, configuration and admin tools like MySQL. I will learn how to integrate MySQL and all and go ahead and store data there, how to write queries and all. Then I will learn about a containerization tool. So we will be learning Docker here, Docker Compose, Docker Swarm, how to containerize a application. What do I mean when I containerize an application? Then once the container size grows, I will have trouble in managing them. So I will learn Docker Swarm or Kubernetes, both so that I can do Docker container orchestration. Okay, so Kubernetes is a very good tool, and it will like help you a lot. Then at the end, we will be learning a little bit of cloud, because at the end of the day, we need cloud to implement all these things. Now, let me say there are 10 tools which I'm learning, and I need 10 different servers. I cannot put everything on one server, because or I cannot put everything on my local machine, because then the machine will start crying. Like if I show you like Jenkins, so if I say hardware requirement, QUIRE, hardware requirement for Jenkins. See here, let me just come here and see what is the hardware requirement for Jenkins. I saw it here somewhere. Hardware recommendation. See here. So it says the RAM can go from somewhere around 200 MB to 70 plus GB for a single or a massive Jenkins controller. Okay, and this is one such machine. Means I need like 10 such machines. Or if I say Kubernetes, for Kubernetes, what is the hardware requirement? So at the end, you will become a data center where you will have 10 big servers. So we can't do everything on our local machine. Better we go to cloud and start implementing everything on cloud. And towards the end of the training, when you cover all these things, you become a DevOps engineer with all these skills. Now, why is DevOps so important, or why is everybody running behind DevOps? So this was a survey which was done around somewhere around 2020. And after that pandemic came 2019-20, and after that pandemic came. So this is not updated as of, but global market insight, which predicts how the market is going to behave. It predicts that by the year of 2026, you will see $17 billion being spent by companies on cloud, on DevOps. Currently, they are just simply spending $4 billion. It means it will approximately go 4.5 times of what it is right now. So there is a huge demand. I will not say demand. There is a huge demand of quality DevOps engineers, people who have hands-on knowledge, people who know what is DevOps, how to implement DevOps, and what DevOps stand for. As an organization, I get a lot of things like reliability, reduce time to recover. So if a failure is there, I can immediately fix the failure. Efficiency goes very high. Risk in implementing a project becomes low. The development cycle is very less. Stability is high. Updates can be moved faster. User experience is better because we are talking about quality. Failures are limited because we are monitoring our applications constantly. Quality is always a big concerns. Faster product delivery, and at the end of the day, when I start using cloud and all, I also save a lot on terms of cost. So the learning path, I highlighted the tools which you will be needing, but the learning path will need a good amount of dedication and hard work from every one of us. It's not that you paid the fee and it's done. No, it doesn't go that way. Let me tell you, it is a tough path. Okay, so if some company says that I'm going to pay you a good salary, okay, so I was just reading in US, it is like 170 K dollars per year. Sorry, or I just let me see if the numbers are correct. Average salary for DevOps engineer. So let me just go for US. So it is like some 123K. Okay, so this is a good amount which you can think of. And obviously in India also the pay is very good. So small companies are also paying like some for freshers, some 6.75 lakhs, 5.75 lakhs, and these are tier 2, tier 3 companies. If you go with tier 1 company, then the pay is really very good. Okay, so that is on the pay side. So if you think of the good things which you are going to get, obviously you have to put a good amount of effort. So the effort comes from my side, from your side. I'll let you know what is expected from your side, what is I'm going to help you with. So we start with the beginner level. I assume that you have no knowledge or zero knowledge of DevOps, and the expectation is that I should get you acquainted from the scratch, or things should start from the scratch. So we start from the very beginning, very low level, and we make you feel comfortable. Then once you are comfortable, we start with the basic things like basic of Linux, basic of shell scripting, of how to write a shell script, when a bash script is there, how it is written, how we release it, and all those things. Then we go to next level where we say we are a practitioner. We start talking about continuous development, continuous integration, delivery, testing. What do you mean by that? What do I mean by that when I say that we are doing continuous delivery, continuous integration? Then at a proficient stage, we start talking about deployment. How do I do configuration management? How I do infrastructure as a code using Terraform and all those things. Then we start talking about the champ stage where we start talking about orchestration of deployment. We talk about blue green deployment, canary deployment. We talk about uh, different kind rolling update deployment. We talk about Kubernetes. We talk about management on cloud infrastructure. We talk about monitoring. So then you become a champ, and then if you have good skills which you have gained over these years, you are full with confidence, full with knowledge, and then sky is the limit. If I jump into DevOps world, I can see hell lot of tools are available in the market. If somebody says that I have to learn everything or one should know everything, he's a fool, because there are so many tools around you and definitely you cannot learn everything. Coming to the companies who are using DevOps, we can see all the major companies of the IT sector which we have, like Amazon, Google, Netflix, Facebook, are using DevOps. And because they are using DevOps, companies like Amazon are able to implement the changes 23,000 times per day. Okay, Google does 5,500 times per day, and these are not up-to-date numbers. These are some numbers which was released somewhere around 2020 around. So definitely they have added to these numbers, and they are doing the deployments, they're doing the changes on a faster pace than what we are seeing here right now. Netflix is 500 times per day. Facebook is bare minimum 1 time a day. Twitter is 3 times in a week. So these are some major giants which are using DevOps. As a DevOps engineer, you have the skills, you have the knowledge, but what work are you going to do? So as a DevOps engineer, you will be building a CI/CD pipeline. So CI/CD pipeline is a software delivery pipeline where you hide the complexity of the development and other processes from the end user. The end user simply comes there, he puts his code and he gets the output. So your work will be to go ahead and design this pipeline from the scratch. In case it is already present, then you have to join the team and do maintenance of that, add new features to that. Then you may be required to write delivery scripts like some YAML files or some JSON files, where which will be used in, let me say, Ansible playbooks, or for Kubernetes you may have to write a pod.yaml file or config file. So all those things is what you should know. So obviously you should know a little bit of scripting for that. Then we do server side scripting, server side specification, like how my server should look like, what all features should be there on the server. And then obviously you should be aware how to monitor the application using a monitoring tool. So in our training, we'll be covering Prometheus, Grafana, and Node Exporter. So this is what DevOps look like. So we will be building a CI/CD pipeline where we start from the very beginning. We plan what we are trying to do. We develop a code, put it into Git. From Git, I integrate this Git with Jenkins, and inside Jenkins, I will have Maven, which is a build automation tool. I have JUnit, which is a testing tool. I will have Sonar Cube, I will have Nexus, I will integrate it with Jira. So Jira is a ticketing tool. So in case there is a problem, a ticket should automatically get raised to my concerned developer. I will use Jenkins as a CI tool or a continuous integration tool. Then I go ahead with deployment where I talk about Ansible. I write Ansible playbooks. I talk about Ansible roles. I talk about Ansible handlers. Then I talk about how to do server configuration management. At this point of time, it is possible that these things may sound as a Greek and Latin to you, but don't worry. As and when we proceed, we will be taking everyone along with us, and we will make sure that you understand smallest tiny particle, and we move ahead. So my motto will never be there to bowl bouncers and it flies over your head. No, I would never ever want to do like that. The motto is very simple. I want you to learn and get maximum of the training. When we talk about operate, we will be talking about Docker, Kubernetes, Docker Swarm, and all those things. And when it comes to monitoring, we'll be talking about Prometheus, Grafana. Towards the end, I will teach you how you can automate this entire infrastructure using Terraform. So you might have heard Terraform is one of the open source tool which has been widely used in the market right now. People are looking for especially Terraform developers or Terraform developers who know DevOps or Terraform developers who know Kubernetes, Terraform developer with CI/CD experience. So this training will help you to get that kind of insight. So what we do, so these are the tools, these are the things which we will be covering. We start with development. We talk about Git, GitHub. We do Jenkins. We talk about Maven. We talk about JUnit testing, Nexus, SonarQube, Jira, JFrog Artifactory. We take it to Ansible, Docker, Docker Hub, Docker Compose, Docker Swarm, Kubernetes, and then we talk about Tomcat server, Nginx server, DB server, Apache Tomcat. We learn various flavors of Linux, how Unix and Linux are different, little bit of coding on Java and Python. Then AWS is what we will be learning, and then towards the end we start with Terraform, where we talk about how the entire infrastructure can be automated using Terraform. And last but not the least, we have AWS, where we talk about cloud. So why cloud is coming into picture and how is cloud going to change my ways of working, and why everybody, okay, why everybody says cloud is the future. So if you are learning, let's go and learn cloud. So why cloud is future? So we will be talking about AWS cloud. Okay, now before I jump into something else, I would open it for you to have, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask that. Guys, any questions? Okay, there's a question here. Mark says, will these slides be available? Yeah, no, it will not be available for download. I will share the link with you, and these you can download and keep it with you. So I have kept it in a drive, and I'll share all these things with you. So whatever we talk uh, on the meeting, everything will be shared with you. Okay, so if somebody says what is cloud, I will show him this diagram. This is the diagram which I'll show it to him, and this is what we need. We will simply connect ourselves to the internet, and on the net or the internet I will get everything, and I can just get started. So my application runs somewhere here on the cloud environment, and all the features which I need is present on cloud. So when we are talking about cloud, let's go ahead and see how it looks like. So the expectation is each one of you will have a cloud account, and this cloud account is something which we will be using for practicing. So each one of you have your own account. So you will have something like this, aws.amazon.com console. So I already have an account, so I can directly log into my account, and then I will tell you how can you create an account, what is the prerequisite, what is the requirement you should have to get your account up and running. Okay, so this is your AWS management console, and this is how your cloud account looks like. But before coming here, I will also assist you with the cloud account creation. So what we are going to do now is I will open my thing in cognito mode. So you need to come here and say AWS free account. If you already have an account, very good. No need to create it again, but you can come here and say, I want to create an AWS free account. So you will be redirected to this place, AWS free tier, and it says gain free hands-on experience on AWS platform, its products and its services. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to see what is it I'm getting here. So I get few components which is absolutely free, and it is always free. Okay, there are few components which is free only for 12 months. There is few components which are given to you on a trial basis as free software or free component. If you come down here, you can see you get compute power or computation, which is like 750 hours, and it is per month. So even if you do 30 days, you practice for 30 days, you end up still you're saving some 30 hours, because 24 into 3 is 720. So still you have some hours left here. Okay, then it gives you a storage of 5 GB. You can use database 750 hours. So like that, there are many components which are free, but is everything free? No. Will there be cost involved if I'm practicing on AWS? Little bit. If you keep a very close eye on what you're doing, then the cost will be very, very, very nominal, almost zero. Okay. Now, what is expected from you is you come here and say, I want to create an AWS account. The moment you click on this, that I want to create an AWS account, it takes you to the sign up page, where the expectation is that you provide a valid email address, a valid phone number, and a valid credit card or a debit card detail. Now, when I say phone number, email address, it's okay. But why do you need a credit card or a debit card number? The simple ask is that Amazon is giving you something for free, but it wants that it should go to the right set of people. It should not happen that some random person comes and do some random stuffs and go away. So Amazon, or for that reason, any cloud provider wants that only genuine people should come and go ahead with the cloud account. So we will be going with that. So it says if you want to see what all is free, so go here. So we already came from there only. It says what's your email address. So let me say my email address is vikas@gmail.com. Okay, what is your password you would like to have it? Just supply any password. Okay, then what name would you like to see on the screen? So I will say I want to see AWS trainer. Does your company, so there was a question here. I don't think this Simal, this is there. The company will provide any platform. It is rather you should go ahead and create one. So I'll request you to go ahead and create one account for yourself rather than. Okay, let me plug in a charger, please. Okay, so this is what I have given: email address, password, and the name which I want to display. Next. For security reason, we verify that the account holder are real people. Yeah, so it is telling that I want that only real people should come and create account. Not everybody should go ahead and create account. So the password here is, oh sorry, the captcha here is 7FYF65. It's Y or V? I think it's a V. Okay, NYMQPR. Come on, man. P655MP.
Please type the numbers you hear. 9,
3,
8, 2,
1.
8.
What happened? I just typed the correct. Wait a second. W5C4P3. Finally. Okay. So the step 1 is done. We are into step 2. So it says sign up. Tell me your contact info. Are you looking for some business purpose or you're looking for a personal thing? I'm looking for a personal. This is what I'm going to give you free. We just now saw it. So we'll come down here. What's your name? So my name is this thing. What's your mobile number? So I'll mention my mobile number. Where do you stay? I stay in India. What's your address? So you just say and say some number. What's your city? So I stay in Bangalore. What's your state? What's your postal code? Okay, once you provide all these, it says, do you confirm that these are valid ones? Yes. Continue. Now here is where it will ask you for your credit card or a debit card detail. It says that will charge you for 2 rupees, and once it's done, we'll refund it back to you. Okay, and they do refund it back. So what happens is you enter your card details and all, and then you say that I don't have a PAN card. Don't say that I have a PAN card. There's no requirement. Yes, if you want, you can give it, but there's no requirement to give the PAN card. Just don't say that it's required. Just go ahead and say step number 4 is where you get the OTP, and step number 5 is where you get a review page where you review everything and you get started with your account. It will not allow me to go without the credit card. So I will stop it here. As I told you, the next, we are already done with 3 steps. The next is for your OTP, one-time password, and the last one is, one second. Okay, so step number 4 is OTP and 5 is you confirm everything. Now, once you confirm everything, what happens is automatically you get an email to your registered email address. Okay, so whatever email address you have shared there, you will get an email, and you have to go ahead and say, it is like verify kind of thing. So you verify that email address, you get a welcome message, and then once all these things are done, generally it gets started. So you simply come here, you get the link from there, just say console.aws.amazon.com. Now if you say like this, you will land up into a page which is something like this. Okay, now if you see here, there are two types of users: root user, IAM user. Now who is a root user, who is a IAM user? So IAM user is a user whose credit card or debit card has been used, his email address has been used. So if you in this scenario, you are creating the account, so you are the root user. Okay, and using your credentials, everything will be happening. If tomorrow you mess up with the account and you go ahead and do something, then you will be only charged, or money will be charged from your credit card or debit card. Okay, so you are a root user. Your phone number, your credit card number, your email address has been used, so you are the root user. Now if I'm creating an account for an organization, okay, let me say organization X. So organization X, let me say, has 10 employees. So in that case, you can't say, hey, I am the CEO of the company, I have created an account for myself, take my username and password and log in. No, that does not work like this. You will create IAM user, or you will create a new username and password for that guy, and he will log in using those credentials. Now when that person logins using the new credentials which you have created for them, that's called IAM user. So IAM stands for identification and authentication. Okay, so IAM is identity access management. So access management is, it will identify you. If you are the genuine user, it will let you in. So basically we talk about authentication and authorization. Okay, so I am a root user. Go and log in. 37FFNF. What's your password? So whatever password you have given. Okay, now you're logged in. So it will be a short class today. Okay, so I will stop here right now. The only expectation is that you create an account, okay, and you be ready with this account. From tomorrow onwards, we'll start with the actual hands-on work. So we start first with Linux and Unix, then we go to Git, then we learn Jenkins, Maven. So then we'll start the training full-fledgedly. Okay. Any doubts, any questions, please let me know. Okay, so no worries. In case you don't have questions, we can drop for today, and we'll continue from tomorrow onwards. Same time, same link. There's a question. I saw a question here. Does Windows should anything? No, the Windows machine which you're using, there is nothing special required, because at the end of the day, you are just connecting yourself to the cloud environment. So there is nothing to be done on your side, okay, or on your local machine. Everything is on cloud. So whatever special we have to do, we do it on cloud. Okay, fine guys, then see you tomorrow, and then we get started from there. Okay guys, bye bye, stay safe.
Yeah, bye.